Is he here?
I don't know, because we don't have the names properly written. We just have initials. So it's difficult for us to moderate if we don't see who is with us. Maybe we can make a round table, which would be nice to know who is with us. It would be easier for us. So maybe I can tell. So I'm Natasha Sotro, as I said. I work on sustainability assessment, and we have now an experimentation on food product labeling, where we have to take into account climate change, biodiversity, environmental pollution. So I work in this subject topic of sustainability, and that is why I co-moderate with Thales. Thales, maybe you can also explain your job?
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm Thales from Brazil. I'm a farmer. I work with agroforestry systems and also growing mushrooms in logs. And I'm also here to moderate and share and, of course, learn with all of you. Thank you. Maybe, I don't know, Johan, are you there?
Yeah, Johan is here. Yeah.
Okay.
Johan, would you like to present your work, or you're interested in these topics of resilient organic farmers tackling climate change? No?
Leo from Philippines, are you there?
Martin Trouillard, would you like to present you, or your interest in this forum? It's difficult if we don't have the testimony person who can explain their own experimentation and own. There are also a few attendees physically. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Martin. If you are in a room, I should have come in the room because I'm in Rennes also, but we were told to go in another room. So maybe I think you can go where there is a computer desk, and you can have the microphone if you would like to ask a question. I think it's. I was in another session where it went like this. Okay.
Maricel, do you have your headset with you? Can you talk to us? Maricel from Philippines. She's here, but maybe Leo from the same organization can help.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be nice. Thank you, Leo.
Yeah, thank you. Good day. Good evening. Mase, I'll speak in local. Mase, may ara dya sa April, ara dya sa idalo, may microphone i-unmute para makastorya. Yeah.
Can you tell us about the family and the seed bank of Massipac, giving us more details or not?
Yeah, I think they're already in. No? Perhaps Marisol could share. So seed banks daw mapamangkot kung paano ginaobra ta mga seed banks.
Ma'am, I would like to speak because my mother is speaking Tagalog, so that I would translate it in English.
Very nice. Thank you.
My mother said that she is Maricel Andencio, and she is a small farmer in the Philippines. And she says that their job is harvesting a corn, in a proper age, in a proper way.
Bitay ka na sa babaw kabumbungan para hindi ka na mag manang insekto.
And they put the seeds in the it is hung in the above their kitchen, and that's the one way to protect their seeds and to avoid insects. And it can also the one way of the Filipinos to shows how they protect or how they expand their rice field, and also the corn.
And do you practice exchange of seeds between the associate inside the association between farmers? Do you practice breeding of crossing seeds?
She says that yes.
Hmm. How many farmers? Maybe can you explain more or less your association? How many farmers do seed conservation and your mother?
Ang pinakakamukha farmers.
Sa
Spain na pala.
mga 300 plus CTSO.
She says that their farmers is worth of 300 plus in VCTSO,
Compost 3 barangays.
composed of 3 barangays.
Okay, thank you very much for this presentation. Thales, you have a question also?
Great.
Maybe?
No, just to add that I had the opportunity to visit Philippines and Masipag work, and they are amazing what they are doing there and facing the power of these big companies with GMO rice and golden rice and all these very hard issues, and they are keeps struggling and they are stronger. And just I'm appreciating. I'm a very fan of all of your work. I just had the opportunity to watch Rodolfo and Maricel. It's very nice. So we have also here Natalie from the Spirulin producing, and from my side, it was very interesting and very new because I didn't know anything about that. And when I was watching, I said, "Wow, that's different." Uh, we don't have this culture here in Brazil and maybe Latin America. But I want to ask you, Natalie, if you have already some easy set production model or technologies to us small farmers to produce it, spirulina, and how costly is to start a spirulina production? She's in the chat saying that doesn't work. Maybe the mic. Oh. Okay, we'll get the answers from chat.
Yes. So I also have a question for Natalie. You said there is a problem in the regulation sector for spirulina. Don't you think there are, or do you see ways to go beyond this problem? Or I mean, as I know it's difficult to play under European regulation, of course, but do you see ways to go further this problem? Oh, it's difficult when there's no really not
She's answering in
difficult.
the chat. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We can see also Rodolfo here from Philippines. Are you there, Rodolfo? Maybe Leo, you can ask him in Filipino.
Doon ara ka dya. Pwede pa-unmute ara sa baba tong icon sang mic. Pwede i-unmute. Yeah. I think they're having difficulties now. But I also chat the ones assisting Rodolfo there. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe he comes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
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 Hi. I'm gonna put the camera too. Hello. I'm Martin from the live session at Rennes, and I had a small question for people in the Philippines. Can I ask it right now?
Of course, of course.
It was
Good.
I've been very impressed by all the work of Masipag and the solidarity system that you are having and in your high diversity forms. And I was wondering, I can see that it's similar to stuff I've seen in South America as well with the Minga system. But I was wondering in France and in Europe, well, where we have widely lost that kind of solidarity among farmers. I was wondering if you could give us advice to try and find this again. How can you get inspired by you? Thank you.
Yeah, sige. I'll translate first and then maybe I can add some more. Yeah. Pamangkot nila kung paano naton ma-encourage sila tong sa bayanihan nga ginaobra ta. Kay similar to sa iban nga lugar, paunsa pod sila sa Europe, sa France specifically, maingganyo na to makumbinsi or maingganyo ang ubang farmers nga mag himo og collective nga pagpanguma. Yeah.
About sa about sa sa farming kang mais or palay.
Or farming sa katibukan, sa kabuuan, ang pag-farm collectively. Paunsa na to sila ma-encourage.
Okay. Sa ang first sa may palay, ga tanong nga ta ng sa pisti. Tapos sa rata na ginagamitan kag chemical na ginatanom lang tana kag ginasagod sa pamagitan ng organic farming. At sa corn ay yung native corn na hindi rin ginagamitan ng mga fertilizer at saka pestisidyo na yung yun sinimulan ko nung 2015 nung umuwi kami dito sa Antique. Kasi sa Manila din kami nagtagal. Yan. Tapos hanggang sa naging kasapi na ako ng masipag, hanggat sa nakapag-training ako ng IFTIS, hanggang sa ibang lugar para mag-encourage ng ibang farmers para din sa kanilang mga pangkabuhayan na hindi na sila at nahihirapan sa pag buhat-buhat ng mga pestisidyo at fertilizer para dadalhin pa sa kanilang mga palayan. Kasi dito sa amin, ang malayo sa kalsada, halos yung palayan dito sa amin. Kaya yun talaga na organic na pamamaraan yung aming ginagawa sa aming palayan. Saka hindi lang po yun yung kasi bilang maliliit na magsasaka, wala po kaming kakayahang bumili ng mga fertilizer at pestisidyo para po igamitin sa aming mga sakahan. Ang ginagawa na lang po namin ay DIPS or Diversified Integrated Farming System para po ito ay makatulong sa aming mga small farmers dito sa Pilipinas po. Ay yung DIPS, yung pagtanim ng mga sari-sari samot, ng mga pananim farm para po pagkukunan ng aming pagkain at panggastos po sa paaral ng aming mga anak at saka sa panggastusin din po sa bahay. Yun po.
Kuya Leo, ikaw lang mag-translate, Kuya.
I'll also summarize it, no, and maybe after translating, Rodolfo can also share more. Mase was saying that they were practicing, no, organic farming. Well, through their practice, basically, through their work, they encourage more farmers, no, through their practical work, and also synthetic farming here in their place is quite expensive. So that's why when they communicate with other farmers, they were able to encourage more farmers to do organic farming. And also just a brief point to Rodolfo, no, about the question. Ginpamangkot nila doon kung sa aton sa Philippines may ara collective work amo pud sa iban nga nasod sa Latin America, paunsa naton makumbinsi or maengganyo, ma-encourage ang mga farmers sang Europe sa France nga magbayanihan.
Sige, good evening. Good evening, Philippines. Unang-una dapat makita yung benepisyo para sumunod yung ibang the other country. Para makita yung epekto naman o kaya yung lalong-lalo na sa ekonomiya o makita yung kulang na sa gastos sa organic farming para maengganyo yung ibang country na ganun pala ang sistema kung lalong-lalo na sa bayanihan system. Yun lang siguro na.
Okay, I will translate. Rodolfo was sharing that in order to convince more farmers, especially for the transition of organic farming, is by actually through showing them the benefits of organic farming, as it is really beneficial, especially on the economic aspect. People doing collective work are actually have this benefit to profit a bit more than those of that conventional farmers.
I asked Maricel something. She was showing that the yields and the economic results were less interesting in 2018, and I would like to know how frequently there are this variability, heavy variability on maybe on 10 years, how many years there are so difficult results like in 2018, and are there more years where it's more difficult, or is it relatively stable, the difficult years?
I'll translate it
Okay,
first.
thank you.
Uh, Tinatanong nila kung nabanggit mo kanina na yung sa 2018 medyo bumaba yung ani. Ang tanong nila kung maliban sa 2018, may mga panahon din ba na mas mababa pa doon yung ani?
Yun lang po.
Ma'am, she says that 2018 lang. Just 2018. Just only 2018.
Okay, on these last 10 years, maybe there was just 2018 very difficult.
No, ma'am.
The same.
Okay.
Where
It's a good thing to have some yields that are relatively stable for you, of course. And I think in Rennes, in the room 4, somebody, maybe Martin, or want to react afterwards to talk about solidarity between farmers, or maybe someone else. Welcome in the.
It's someone else. I'm in the on-site room. I'm Alexia. I work at the Réseau Semences Paysannes, which is the French farmer seed peasant seeds network in France. And I just want, it's kind of an anecdote, but I think there is still hope in solidarity between farmers, including in France. 1 or 2 years ago, I don't remember, there was a huge storm in the southeast region of France, and a lot of our members were affected, their land, their seeds. Some of them lost almost all their seeds. And so there was like a really interesting chain of solidarity within the network and within their network, local network, to raise money, first of all, to buy some more material, or to be given some already used material, but like good one. And there was also seeds donation, so that people could jump back on the field after this huge storm that destroyed everything. And that's it. So there's still hope. And it shows the importance of network and collective and being able to just interact within farmers.
Thank you for your testimony. We have in the chat Nathalie Depois, who I believe cannot speak because of a problem of microphone, and who explained that for spiruline, the animal and vegetable waste come from methanization, and so there are debate, of course, and controversies, and experts of ECTOP agreed with the proposition, but they're still waiting for a political decision. Thank you, Nathalie, for this precision.
there's also in the chat in 2018, in order to put context, no, I agree with Vincer. He's also from the Philippines. He was saying that in
Yes.
2018 we experienced El Nino. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, of course. My question was because we are with the climate change, we are all facing a higher frequency of heavy disasters, and so it was the question to know uh, is this frequency already happening in the Philippines that you hopefully not if there was hopefully yeah, not too many typhoons or El Nino or,
Yeah, well, actually, maybe I can add. Really, no, Philippines is really, right now we are experiencing typhoon, no, and just recently during the summer, we also experienced typhoon during summer. No, it's quite the climate is quite crazy here. Then, not just ordinary typhoons, no, in the recent past. For example, in 2018, we experienced El Niños, series of El Niños, and uh, recently, just a few months ago, the temperature here in our city, the southernmost part of the country, experienced the hottest weather, no, recorded. So, and also super typhoons like that in 2012, no, Typhoon Bofa, and Typhoon Haiyan. So, yeah, climate change is really a reality here that we are not just on the theory level, but it's a really reality that we are facing every day, every cropping season.
Kuya Leo, may dagdag si Mama about sa ano, yung anak ko.
Maricel would like to add more.
Yeah, about Kuya Leo explained that we experienced El Nino in 2018. Yeah, El Nino affects so much in the crops production because of the disrupt of normal weathering, like climate change, and more specifically, El Nino creates water shortage. That is the number one problem in the Philippines because in El Nino we experience El Nino, but we also experience La Nina in the Philippines, so that it can create water abundance and in like cracking the land, and also water shortage reduce crop planting areas, so that their crops is delaying planting seasons and generally lowly crop yields, and so that the result gives them their production has a lower production of their crops, the rice, and also the other root crops that they planted. That's all.
Thank you.
thank you.
If I can, I would have a question for the people in the Philippines. It's more about a kind of technical question. It's do you have in the diversified family system? Do you have systems of cultivation with different levels of cultivation, like fruit trees under higher trees, and with other crops at the bottom, and very very integrated systems with different levels of cultivation. And have you found that the shade of the higher levels is profitable, or maybe to the lower levels, and that maybe sometimes there is competition towards water, and maybe do the shaded system fit better when there is drought, or is it worse, stuff like that. Thank you. Is it okay with the question? Yeah, do you understand correctly the question? Yeah.
Maybe I'll translate in Filipino first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, kung ang tanong, bale kung ginagawa ba natin yung sa part ng diversified yung mga multi-story na multi-story cropping, no? na iba't ibang levels, tapos may mga ground crops. Tapos, hindi ba naapektuhan nun ang ani, lalo na posibleng magkaroon ng competition sa mga crops? Naka-mute.
X.
I think Rodolfo has something to say. Yeah, done.
Ah, Hindi naman makakaapekto X lalong-lalo na X sa mga nagdi-dips o diversified integrated farming system. Kasi nakabase sila X sa kanilang farm planning. Nakabase yung pagtatanim sa farm plan, at saka yung kanilang lupa, ah sa tagal na ng panahon na ginagamit nila o kaya tinataniman, hindi naman wala namang kompetisyon doon. Kasi kung titingnan mo X, yung kanilang ginagawa, usually na yun. Ibig sabihin, taon-taon para pag tinaniman mo ng mais, dapat yung susunod yung pampabalik naman ng mga nitrogenous naman na ah, tanim para bumalik yung taba ng lupa. Yun lang siguro, X.
Okay, I will translate. Yeah, one thing that they are considering, no, they think there's no competition among the crops, no, because first the farmers have this farm planning. So they are considering all factors, especially the characters of plants, no, and then also their long practice of farming also proves what crops can be planted together. Moreover, there are also short-term crops such as corn that are really demanding with nutrients. So they are after planting corn, they also practice crop rotation. So they are planting nitrogen-fixing crops, no? Such as the legume family.
Great. That's very rich debate about practical farming, and it also comes to my experience here when we mix all the levels as our friend asked it here. And I think it's the future of our survivor in the agriculture, because if we keep farming with monoculture, we won't have success anymore facing all these climate change. And your experiences there are, you just show it to us. That's nice. Does anyone have another question to come here to the table? We have in the chat Vincent saying that he's also agroforestry farmer. You want to talk, Vincent? Vincent?
Yes. I just want to share our practice, how we are managing the problem with climate change. I think I can relate this with the situation here in the Philippines. That I think it is necessary now for us organic farmers to incorporate some kind of agroforestry because of the water supply. We always have problems with water supply. I have seen the presentation, and they have a lot of hills and places like that. And I think it is a good idea that on that spot they can have agroforestry to ensure that there is continuous supply of water. Because our farm is just 2.9 hectares, and we were able to capture water, and that even in the extended uh, dry season, we don't have problems with our water supply now. But 10 years ago, when we moved here, when it was still grassland, during summer, our fish pond area gets dry for at least a month, uh, especially in El Nino in 2008 and 2000. I think it was 2010 that we really had problems with water. And actually, I had the presentation about it earlier here as well in the Congress, and I think I would like to share it with my fellow Filipinos, so that at least uh, I really would like to be. I would like to have connection with Masipag, especially because right now in our province we are some kind of movement, and we are not yet fully established organization. We are native tree lovers and more on biodiversity, and we are trying to introduce how we can rely on nature for our supplies in the farm. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank
That's
you also.
yes, that's a good idea to cross like experiences like you suggest. Yes, very good idea. Maybe you can send your presentation and share it. Then I think we can find the emails of the participants.
Yeah, thank you,
I
Vincent.
sent request
Really,
already.
yeah,
to
we'll contact each
uh,
other. Yeah. I'm also a member of a native tree enthusiast in Abunturan in our place. Yeah.
oh,
So
okay, yes.
good to meet you here. Yeah.
I think we have. I don't know if we have connected during the permaculture convergence.
But it's interesting because in Europe, in the European regulation in organic, and especially here, I'm talking from France, for the organic movement, there are debates also on the biodiversity criteria, because organic regulation doesn't have, for instance, the need to put some hedges, diversified hedges into the lands, and so organic movements are now thinking about, do we need to make a step further to, as you said, Vincent, to mix not only organic as non-synthetic chemical inputs, but also to increase the biodiversity. And this is now not inside the European regulation at this stage, but there are many initiatives of farmers who make more than just the simple regulations. So that is interesting of what you said. It's the same movement to mix more organic and agroforestry and diversity.
There is actually a motion during our what is it next week during the what next week during our event. The motion is about increasing awareness on biodiversity through IFOAM, and we suggested to include adoption of best practices all throughout and where it is applicable. And maybe we should, if we can have a look at it, and we will see.
Oh, there is a question from Martin to you, Thales, on syntropic agriculture, originated from Brazil. And maybe you can speak directly better that I read. Martin is with
Yeah.
us, so it's better you take the microphone, Martin. Or you can answer, Thales, as you can see the chats.
Yes, sorry, it was maybe not far right now. I don't know. It's just I don't know if you know syntropic agriculture, which is a kind of agroforestry with multiple levels and a succession in time of the different kinds of vegetation. And I believe that in Brazil you have quite a lot of experience in that, and here in Europe we are trying to adapt some of the concepts to the temperate regions, and I was wondering whether you could tell me more about that.
Yes. Sorry, I lost my connection and I'm back. I just saw your question on the chat. Yes, we have this Ernest. He's a Swiss man, but he's based in Brazil, and he's the father or the founder of this entropic term. But it's just to translation the principles and how does nature works and produce within layers and time and spaces all together. So it's deeply talk and experience sharing, of course. But I think in the practice, as we are practicing also agroforestry, producing vegetables, fruits, and mushrooms, and long-term trees and species, the key and also the challenge for us, small-scale farmers, is how to make it economical viable in a system that most of the time obligate us, push us to scale up our production, to specialize in one thing or two things. And when we propose a system that goes against all these things, we produce diversity. We don't have many space to scale up, and we also need economics. We need to pay our bills. We need money to survive. So it's a challenge that we have to think, to innovate, to develop ways and strategies to go ahead, because it's possible, but it's still working on, because on the ecological points we are like going right way, but economic points we still have these points to solve, if I can say like this. So that's a kind of contribution from my side.
Uh, I would like to contribute about the idea of syntropic because in somehow we are applying the principles on how it is being implemented. But since we started with having forest, we adapted to that when we have tall. What we are having now, for instance, we have wild banana under the canopy of the large trees, and on the bottom of the forest, we have some aroid, or what we call San Fernando here in the Philippines, and we have ginger, and the chickens can run around in some places, but we do not have the range where the vegetables are in the middle of in between the rows of trees. But we are now also using the direction, the orientation of the sun in relation to the syntropic principle. And what we see is that because in many places in the Philippines, we have coconut farms, and under the coconut farms usually being introduced are cocoa and coffee and so on. And in fact, syntropic is very applicable so that we can incorporate rice and vegetables in our typical farms. Although our farms are limited to 3 to 5 hectares, and some farmers even have only 1 hectare. So that's
Great.
my contribution.
We are almost here to finish, no? Our time is running. Missing you, Natasha.
Just thank you, Martin, for your warning that it's very in few minutes, in 2 minutes, we will be suddenly kicked off of this session. And so maybe we can just take these 2 minutes to share very strong message to keep in mind from Philippines, from all over, from Brazil, from France, from Natalie, but she cannot speak, but for everybody before leaving. And thank you, everybody. And thank you also for the room in Rennes to make this session with questions very lively.
Sure. Thank you very much. Always good to be with all of you here, sharing and learning.
All over the world. So congratulations, as Martin said, for your nice experience and very impressive seed banks and every collective work, all farmers together, Massipag, for instance, but also Native Trees experience. And see you soon, maybe. And
Yeah.
enjoy the forum, enjoy
Yeah,
Organic
thank
World
you.
Congress.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Be healthy. Yeah. Eat organic.